We are awake. Good morning in this magical world of wonder, or not. Yellow galactic star. I feel it the way I feel it. I feel incredible abundance of energy and thoughts and concepts in me at once. All of them are like elements that are vying for my attention. Like they are like that, they are not that. It's like, oh, I feel like a child in a toy store. I want to look at everything. I want to go everywhere. I want to check out this and check out that and check out this and check out that. Talk about this, talk about that. Explore, explore. And each one idea in the toy store of my mind just leads to more questions. At the same time, there's a very profound stillness in me that it's like the absolute opposite. Is there an absolute opposite? Is there something that isn't absolute opposite? Is there an opposite that is less than absolutely opposite? Slightly opposite? A little bit opposite? Well, opposite to my abundant mental toy store is the silence, which doesn't want to speak at all. And I can see how I have options. If I go into the toy store, I get all go here, go here, go there, blah blah blah. If I go into the silence, well, in both places I have options, different options. In the toy store, there's a little bit of judgment in my own mind about my energy being a bit too much or feeling a little bit overwhelmed. We are guided today by the yellow human. We spoke about that yesterday. I spoke about that yesterday. Influence, free will. So I have to make some decisions here, which I'm like, oh, what would I talk about? Whereas in the silent part, I calm down. I feel calm. I'm currently, presently, this moment, very fascinated myself, observing myself swinging like a monkey. We have the monkey present today in the analog position. I'm swinging from one branch to the other, or like I'm hanging on my tail. And to the one side is all the other monkeys going, and on the other side is like, but I'm not swinging. That I can move between. I'm not just swinging like a pendulum. I can choose. And the silent place, the stillness gives me this option or this image of it. It's the space surrounding all of these thoughts, all these little monkey thoughts all these little monkey children thoughts that are playing. And then there are some profound monkey mama thoughts that are sitting there not playing, but they are deep and vast, and I just want to explore. and fill in the blanks for yourself. We can get up to a lot of fun stuff there, but the silence is like, it reminds me of the red dragon. We're in the red dragon wave spell on the galactic tone, and it's like in this position, in this moment, the red dragon to me feels like this big, like the universe, the silent space for the objects in that space, as well as sounds. There's probably a lot of sounds in the universe, but there's always a silence around the sounds as well. Even if that silence is at the same time as a sound in a different dimension, it's nonetheless like a cup, a cauldron. The glyph also looks a little bit like that, like a cauldron, or maybe like a volcano, and it holds the lava. The volcano is steady, but the lava is cooking. The star stands for art, harmony. It says modeling here. Model. The harmony. I lie. Backtrack. The model and harmony, that's the tone 8. We associate that with the star because in the initial wave spell, the dragon wave follows the signs from the dragon, which is 1. There's another way of looking at it where the sun is 20 and 1. But generally speaking, the Tzolk'in spin starts on day 1 on the magnetic dragon. So that's position 1, and moves on until 20. And each one of them is then, so the sign is very, very linked to the tone. So the star being very linked always to tone 8, to harmony. No matter which other position it finds itself in, the star stands for elegance, beautify, art. Art is always a way of playing with harmonies. We can artfully play with disharmony visually, but it may or may not be pleasing, but it may nonetheless be the intention of the artist to create a discord. However, as a human, we don't exist very long in discord and remain healthy. If the frequencies we're living in, mentally, emotionally, socially, are too discordant or too disharmonious, they affect our biochemistry, they affect our biomagnetism, they affect our electric currents, everything. It affects us. Our own unharmonious thoughts affect us. So it's always linked with tone 8. That on the star, it being beauty and elegance. Beauty is, generally speaking, in some form harmonious. Things that are harmonious are beautiful. And it doesn't mean yet sort of patterns that are like artistic patterns where they are like there's a sort of a perfection. What are they called? And then you get a plant. A plant is not, every leaf is different, but there's harmony in its own existence. A forest is a harmonious coexistence of different plants and animals. So society is a harmonious coexistence of its own different elements, up until it isn't any longer, or wherever it is. And then modern societies most certainly also highly disharmonious. Our global society is in parts frightfully disharmonious. My personal view is that the large majority is harmonious. It's just maybe the focus of some of the media that some of the majority consumes focuses very much on the disharmony, and it gives a bit of a distorted view, as if that is everything's going crazy. No, everything isn't going crazy. Absolutely not. Most things are going really well. We're here. We're whirling through space at a speed of what? And we're doing what? I mean, honestly, our solar system is thriving. The small little problems of crazed out presidents or dictators or whoever or whatever, or war lords, or social disharmony, those are ever so minor, although they can affect a life ever so majorly in so many ways. So harmony for a human or for any living system, organism or system, is essential. It's not actually optional. Any system can withstand a level of disharmony or unharmony for a certain period of time, but then it will always strive to reinstate harmony. Our bodies do that. They do that naturally. And the reason some bodies go relatively deeply into disorganization, disharmony, generally referred to as illness, where illness is just the symptoms of the disharmony in the body, body-mind system, not just in the body, but the body expresses it. If we're talking physical illness, which is always linked to mental and emotional and social and energetic and whatever, you cannot take those apart, even though the current medical system is still very largely built on the splitting of it all into its details, and then wanting to address the detail and not keeping the ego in mind, the higher view, where what is the collective, what's happening to the collective. If a depressed person goes to a doctor, the doctor should ask, what's happening in your family, what's happening in your social environment, how are you connected, and other questions as well. But it isn't just isolated what's going on inside your mind. Surely that's where it is ultimately happening, but we are as humans not isolated. Our level of illness is like a barometer of the health of the collective. Yellow star, among other elements. I am also reminded of there's a lot of fear on the planet, apparently, in some spheres at least, regarding the topic of the advancement of AI and how it may take our jobs away from us. And my 2 cents on the topic is we are artists. Human beings are artists. Whether we build houses, whether we cook, whether we plant and grow food, whether we, no matter what we do, whether we're in service to one another or, and everything is, we're here to be in service to one another. All of that is art, from cleaning house to building anything that's essential or non-essential. The beauty of it is, we in survival mode, we can't really create art. We're trying to survive. We're just trying to keep the body alive. We're trying to keep the family alive. We're trying to keep the head above water. That's not thriving. And we're meant on this planet to thrive. The earth gives us everything we need to thrive. That we aren't is man-made, in my opinion. Of course, humans can go through periods of God knows what ice ages, and then the hardship is, hardly man-made. But we are also spirit beings, and we're spiritually connected to the earth as much as we're physically connected to her. And as much as animals can sense when something like an earthquake or tsunami comes, and they have the instinct to flee into safety if they can, we have the same instinct. We've become just extremely domesticated and clock-bound and following another kind of harmony, maybe less natural, clock time harmony, 1260 harmony rather than 1320 harmony. I'll explain that at another time if explaining is needed, but I did have a thought earlier that I should like to explore that one a bit. So where was I coming from? That we are a few steps removed from our instincts, and then we are human. We are surely in some part of the animal kingdom, but we have something extra. And what is that extra? Well, it seems like an obvious question to answer, like whatever part of our brain. I wouldn't reduce it to that, but it certainly is a part of that. But I think we are artists. We are here to. Time is art. Life is art. And when the AI takes or does, it frees us. It's, in my view, it comes to free us. Of course, we need to change our social structures. The system of you work for your keep and all of that. We have to have a little bit of imagination. Hello, monkey. A blue monkey. The inner child, the imagination. And today we have the Skywalker in the occult position of the star. Explorer, bringing heaven to earth. Let's use our imagination to envision. Yellow human can very much be a visionary too, to envision a world that works totally differently. To me, that is super easy to do because I could say I have a memory of that world. But either way, I know it's coming. We've dreamt it into being. We've collectively dreamt even this world and the past worlds into being. They all are now. We are collective dreamers. The dream field is not, well, the dream field, dream time, yes, it is our imagination, but in the Western world, I grew up in a world where imagination was termed as something that is not real because it's not tangible, touchable, it's not 3D, it's dreams, it's fluffy puffy, it's nothing. Stop dreaming, be real, think, plan, act. And dreaming is a majorly important part of our humanity. Oof. Oof. Let me go back to silence. Oh. We are artists, man, and we have talents. We all come in with talents. We all come in with talents, whether they're spinning up stories, visions, dreaming, whether they are building, making. We have different talents, but it's all art. When we are free to build the kind of houses that we would all love to live in, they will all look very different. They will no longer be with 90-degree angles and square windows and everything square and everything 90 degrees. These 90 degrees angles they're like, in so many ways, they're like dead. A 90-degree angle is, everything is four square. And yeah, there is also a power in the four square. But we've got too much of that, I feel. It's like too dominant. Anyway, yeah, we are going to build differently. We have, so much unlived. We don't have unlived potential. It's like our potential as humans, individually and collectively, is like the horizon. It is not exhaustible. It is inexhaustible. You can never reach the horizon. The horizon will always be somewhere away from yourself. And so is our potential, because everything we create creates infinite possibilities of new potentials. Oh lol, IRL. Reality strikes. Challenged once again. World Bridger, gotta let go. I have been interrupted in this podcast twice, losing once again quite a bit of data, because after the second recording of the next little bit, either InShot froze because I got a phone call, or it froze because it wanted to tell me that my 3-day trial expired. And I had to, and it just froze. I had to close the app, and on reopening, it had not saved the last spoken bits. Then I have to replace my stove, and it was supposed to be delivered today and connected on Monday. But it hasn't been delivered today yet. But the connector guy came, the electrician from IKEA came, and I said, well, the stove isn't here yet, and the montage, whatever it's called, it's supposed to be on Monday. So he was confused, some internal error with IKEA, but it actually saved me something, because he came back. I had to look at the fuse boxes. He said, show me your fuse boxes, or your fuses, whatever, fuse box. Looked at it and he said, please cancel the whatever that IKEA puts it in, because we no longer do that. You have to get a separate outside IKEA electrician, because we don't, these fuses are too old. So I'm like, can you explain that to me in French? I don't understand anything. But yeah, I know what to do. And it's just like, I'm not exactly irritated or anything, but I'm not even pulled off my center, which is very nice for me to notice. In the past, I have very easily. I am not my past. I have been sometimes quite thrown by something like that, because like, who do you call? And this is an insurance claim, so I have to call the insurance and double check with them. Are you still covering this? Da 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 da. And who must come? What? But in any case, this guy was very helpful. Saved me having to pay IKEA for not doing anything when they come, because they will still charge. So the red dragon god mama has our back, or something like that. I don't know. Spirit is with us. It has been a fortunate turn of events. But where was I? Yeah, saying that I wish for us as humanity that we envision the next chapter of our evolution. Red Earth was a part yesterday of the blue hand. It's the antipode, and the earth stands for synchronicity and for evolution. So humans are an evolving species, and if you listened yesterday or you remember, the yellow human is the analog on power of the blue hand, and the red earth the antipodal position. So whatever that means, it's all support, it's whatever, it doesn't matter right now. But through the hand, through knowing, healing, accomplishing, we evolve. We are constantly evolving. We're an evolving species. I have conversations sometimes with people who are like, no, humans have always been like that, and they will always be like that. We've always been at war with each other. It will always be like that. Says who? History is written by the winner. We all know that. So the only history we learn of humanity or humans on the planet is like, I don't know, whatever the last ... 1,000 years, however many, whatever school of teaching teaches us and says this is how long we've been here. We've been here a whole lot longer, and nobody knows, have we always been at war with each other? There are entirely different history books that tell us an entirely different story, that we haven't always been at war with each other, that we have experienced golden ages on this planet, blah, blah, blah. So take your pick. Who's your authority? Who do we believe? And this is something that is definitely cracking open consensus reality, which is kind of sort of maybe important to harmony, but it can, yellow star. This is breaking open. We are merging cultures. Cultures are breaking open their rigid structures and limitations, because maybe some young people are saying, hey, but we don't want to hold on to these old values. They come from another time. They may have been good for our parents or grandparents, but actually no. And because the religions, for example, or cultures are very often not the most flexible institutions on the planet, certainly most religions aren't, you have the choice, either bend to the rule or leave, instead of, hey man, we're going to reform a little bit, or just open up a little bit, or like, yeah, that's more harmony. Create a new harmony, find a new solution. And that is how nature works. That is, to me, that is a universal law. Everything gravitates towards harmony, towards peaceful coexistence in the bigger picture. Now and then something clashes, now and then whatever collides, but out of each star collision or galactic collision, whatever the case may be, or personal collision, the debris or whatever, it forms something new, or forms the potential for something new. Energy is not created nor destroyed. So we're the eternal kaleidoscope. We're a part of that. And we're a fractal part of that, which means we're not just like a moving part of red plastic inside a kaleidoscope, which always remains that same red plastic. It just moves position in a kaleidoscope. We are ourselves also kaleidoscope. We have all the parts within us who are themselves also kaleidoscopes, and move and move and move and change, up and down in all directions. So that's my 2 cents worth of really, I'm yeah, the advent of the AI, yeah, human beings, we test in all directions, so it's going to cause a bit of stuff that we don't want. Hopefully not as drastic as the atom bomb. I do believe that we have learned from our past. I do not believe that we are incapable of learning and that we do not learn. But I do also believe that we do have to make our own mistakes in order to learn from them. It's not always possible to learn from the mistakes made in the past. But sometimes it can. You just have to know which is which, when is what. And essentially, I think it holds the potential, let's put it that way, to free us from a lot of work which is not, which is crippling our human potential and not healthy at all either. So we will reshape society and all of that. That's evolution, for better and for worse, or for worse, and or for worse. And there will be some worse. There will be some worse, but there will be better. And whatever the ratio may be, I live in the northern hemisphere right now, so the ratio will be sometimes 80-20 and sometimes 20-80, like the seasons, like the sunlight. Some parts of the year is a lot of light and a little dark, and some parts of the year is a lot of dark, a little light. Live by the equator, it's like much of a muchness, you know. So it's like, yeah, 50-50 more or less. You can choose. We can choose. Hello, human. We have choice. And today, the human is the guide. Love it. We have the antipode position of the white mirror, which is reflection, reflecting truth, reflecting what is. What do we change in us to change the reflection we see around us? How do we reflect the harmony we need, the harmony we seek? How do we be harmonious, but not at the expense of another? Or how do we not keep harmony at the expense of ourselves? Many of us have not learned that, or it come from a time where there was too much compromise, too much sacrifice of either self or other. The extreme excess of that is something like, I don't know, maybe narcissism, where it's like, I don't sacrifice nothing, or I don't know, but it's like, I don't even want to go there. It's just some of us like defend our own positions so hard we are unable to take another's position into account. Could be coming from some sort of trauma thing or some sort of recognition that, oh my God, I'm not going to be like that, so I'm going to be like this, from one extreme straight into the other. And we need to explore those extremes. We do. So I think we just cut people some slack and thank all those people who go into the extremes. They're adding to the collective, and everyone can course correct, but through love, not through hatred or punishment. Where does that lead us? Certainly not to more harmony or any kind of balance. I don't think so. But whatever. We have free will here. Everyone can choose. And your choices don't affect my life very much. As mine probably won't affect yours, because we're here to affect our own lives. And then we attract situations, people, life circumstances of similar frequency to our own choices. Whether we make our choices consciously or not, we cannot be let off the hook. We can be met with compassion. You have not the wherewithal to understand the choices you're making. You're making choices that are not serving you. But very many times when that is the case for us, when we do that, we do not do that because that's what we want to do. We still believe we're making the right choice for ourselves, or we believe we're a victim and we don't have the choice to make a choice. And if that's what we live and believe, that's what we manifest and experience until we learn otherwise. And none of us are exempt from that. None of us. So, I think we can meet each other with a bit more compassion, perhaps. But it begins with ourselves. Can we meet ourselves with a bit more compassion and create a bit more harmony? I say that Tzolk'in Dream Spell is a great tool to learn more compassion, more understanding, more love, more harmony, and more exploration of our own shadow aspects, and come to terms with those so that we can be compassionate with ourselves, so that we can be more harmonious with ourselves. We can learn to become quite harmonious with our disharmony. Yes, we can. Anyway, I'm going to say a last word on the galactic tone. Stands for integrity, and stands for a lot of stuff. I mean, it stands for really everything, and Tzolk'in stands for a lot of stuff. Harmonize, integrity. One thing I love about tone 8 is it's always the sign of that tone, like today is the yellow star. It's the wave spell we've just come from. It's the previous wave spell. So on the galactic tone, we can test or check up on the integrity of what we've learned or integrate or let go or whatever the wave spell before was. Tone 8 is a reminder of experiences we've had. Are we in integrity? Is the experience, it can test the integrity of the new programming, if I can use that language. I like that very much. So what was my experience in the last wave spell of the yellow star? All I remember was amazing, despite all its difficulties. And the wave spell before that was Blue Eagle, and that really had some very, very tough elements, but tough elements that have been tough for the entire Tzolk'in spin, my entire last Tzolk'in spin. So coming into the wave spell, the last wave spell of this spin is the yellow star wave spell, 13 days of the yellow star, 13 days of how harmonious am I with myself? How much have I developed? How much have I grown? How harmonious am I with my environment? How artfully am I navigating my journey through life? Anyone in survival mode is not likely to be Suvuya surfing. None of you listening to this are likely stuck in survival mode, but in parts we are often. Parts of our nervous system are still operating in survival mode, even if we're physically not in survival mode. That needs updating. And we need to consciously update ourselves willingly. Free will, human, influence, wisdom, the ability to consciously choose which updates you're running. Otherwise, the environment or your whatever media you consume or whatever will update you and may not take you in the direction you want to go. We have to understand we are who. It's not optional. But it is optional. But you can't escape the consequences of your choices, whether they're optional or not, and you're choosing to update or not. I have a lot to say about that, but I'm not going to now. Not today. Another day I'll talk about the cold, the flu, and the purpose of viruses. It's a pet topic of mine. Not today. Today we are harmoniously staying within the confines of this moment. Whatever. A lot of words saying nothing. So the galactic star. How harmoniously are my cells with each other? How harmoniously. The body is made out of more non-human cells, apparently, than human cells. If we removed all the non-human cells out of our bodies, we would die instantly. There's no living, just being human. So what is a human being? That really begs the question. I am a collective. My body is a collective of all kinds of beings, all kinds of, don't really like to use the word entities, but like bacteria and whatever else they all are in there. Single and multi-celled organisms. And this collective forms this body. And this body is like, we're talking fractals, right? We are part of this greater human being, which is the human species on this planet. And that human species, this human species on this planet is part of the greater human species across many galaxies or possibly universes. I'm flabbergasted at the scientific, quote-unquote, mind that might say, we haven't met any other humans on other planets yet, so therefore they don't exist. It just boggles my mind. How can we... It's like a 3-year-old closing its eyes. I see nothing, so nothing is there. And that nothing cannot see me either. Like, hello? Our logic, like, we cannot space travel, therefore nobody else can either. We are the most advanced thing in this cosmos. I mean, where does this thought come from? It's funny. It's incredibly funny. We are an incredibly funny species. Blue monkey, I mean, really, free will. We can take it anywhere we want. Anywhere we can. We can test out all the limitations. We can test out all the suffering. And we're good at it. Jesus Christ. Are we good at it? Damn. But yeah, polarities. So wherever we go in the one direction, we automatically create the other direction too. So it's brilliant. The system is brilliant. Yeah. Can I prepare tomorrow's solar tone 9? Oh, it's one of my favorite. And we're going into the red solar moon tomorrow. But I'm staying right here and right now. I'm ending this podcast and this episode, not this podcast, and see if my non-subscription on this app still allows me to edit my suboptimal audio quality. I ordered microphones. They arrived today and they sound incredibly tinny. Yeah, that's what you get when you go cheap. I'm really good at that too. Fuck. Anyway, all good. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, just bear with me so long, okay? I hope the audio is not painful. If it is, just tune me out. Okay, I wish you a gorgeous day. Bless you mightily on this harmonious, starry day. And you hear me the next time, whenever that is for you. I'll be here. I'll be connected. I'll be connecting. Aho.